Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. Thank you for joining us. We are here for the Claimers Conquest. This is a once a month campaign that is the culmination of the offline Rise of the Rune Lords game and the on stream Curse of the Crimson Throne campaigns. With that being said, I'll let Andrew take on over and get us going.
Yes, so the last game we had was the first full game of the Claimers Conquest, where the Rune Lords team and Greater Crimson Throne team, remaining members of each, met and overlapped, and it was revealed to Corvosa that there was an imminent rise of a Rune Lord bearing down on Varisia. This was discovered after Erglin was attacked while Arabella was there on some personal business, and she firsthand saw the scouting party of giants and their dragon that decimated the town. Returning to Corvosa, they informed the king of what they had learned, while Naveen's slice of life turned out to be just anything but when she discovered a secret chamber underneath her school, her campus, that hinted at foul magic. Party discussed things. A lot happened last game, and they decided that they needed to divide and conquer. And with that, Sephi wanted to go and speak to the archdeacon of the bishop of the Cathedral of Pharasma. Miles was interested in scouting out and staking out the chamber that Naveen had found. Naveen, knowing that an army was bearing down on the country, wanted to take an account and get started on training with what soldiers Corvosa had, as Corvosa was 3 months behind Magnamar and Riddleport. Dalibor was concerned for his friends over in Flame, for his null rests, warning them of what was to come. Close to they were close to where the attack on Erglin was. And Arabella wanted to warn her colleagues at the Arcanist Circle, speaking with Sullivan, and hopefully help prepare Kaer Maga for what was to come, being the furthest north major city. Everybody splits their disparate ways, taking care of things, and so we'll have a shifting perspective of things. And think first, our vision will stay right here in Corvosa, with Sephi, who is escorted by Ishani towards the Cathedral of Pharasma. So you are here at Castle Corvosa, marked on the map,
Okay.
and the cathedral is this big building down right above the G in the gray. It's a little bit of a walk, but it isn't complicated to get there. You go down the main road until you get to a large plaza. You go out the gates into the South Shore. You follow the main road. You continue following the main road. You go head towards the Pantheon of the Many and through the wall into the cemetery, what is a cemetery district of the city. It is an entire 1,000 square foot area of graves, mausoleums, burial mounds, tombs, walled in and sequestered to its own section of the city.
Um, as they're walking in the city and traveling there, does Seffi see, are most people like, do they travel on foot? Um, or is there anybody like riding horses or like wagons?
You see on this road there are wagons, there are horses, there are carriages. The grand majority of people ride or walk on foot by foot.
Okay. Okay.
In
Well, she
fact,
won't.
Ashani, who is leading you, is on foot.
Okay. Then I will not pull out Shadow Mist.
Okay. So as you travel southwest, one of the things you notice is you notice some of the monuments and architecture of the city. Uh, on an alcove out into sea, you see what looks like a statue of a giant foot, of as if there was some colossus that stood there that was sheared off at the ankle. And on the other side of the plaza, you can see a big amphitheater that sinks down into the ground.
Ah, what are those?
That is, he points over at the statue. That is Gatefoot. And the amphitheater over there, sometimes they have plays, shows. It flooded a few months ago, but I think they are doing shows there again.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll see if Miles wants to go sometime. Have you gone?
I have been there, but I have never attended a show before.
Oh, well, you should.
I know I should, especially with my new patron. It is a bit embarrassing that I have not went.
Your new what?
My new patron, my new deity that I worship. You are a
Oh,
holy person, are you not? You do not have a deity?
the no, I wouldn't really say I'm a holy person. That seems, I don't know. I guess just not really my thing. I just like to help people.
I do too.
Yeah, who's your patron? I mean, I worship like
Shaylan is my patron, and you see he like holds up the necklace that he has around his neck of a songbird.
oh yeah, me too. And Steffi will pull out one of her holy symbols that she has like a chain around her belt of like Serenray, Shaylin, Phrasma.
Oh, I take it you venerate all the gods since you have a collection.
Um, maybe not all, but yeah, these three for sure. That's I hear is pretty cool.
Ah, we do a priestess of Desna.
Oh, yeah.
You must be similar to her because while she worshipped Desna, she got her power came from elsewhere, a place of much darker persuasions.
Like like nighttime? Like a nighttime god?
Like a nighttime god.
Or like darker, like spooky?
Yes,
Both?
yes.
Huh. Well, maybe just because they're spooky, they still wanted to help people if she was able to heal.
She did. She helped many people.
Well, then I don't think it really matters. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a god. I don't know why they would give somebody powers versus somebody else not.
They work in mysterious ways.
Yeah, I think some of them maybe just do it for fun.
Anyways, here's the cathedral, he says as he motions up to the building.
This is kind of spooky too.
And I'm gonna go ahead and move everyone to here. If you go ahead and put yourself somewhere here.
Oh, come on. You want me to move a Shawnee there too?
Yeah.
Said I had a token in my thing that I can move.
Yeah, Twitch chat should be there. Oh,
I do not see it.
there you go. So you approach and you see Sephi, the Cathedral of Pharasma overlooks acres of squat mausoleums, weathered monuments, and grave markers. From its commanding point within the Gray District, the dark stone blocks of its high walls give it a somber appearance. Despite the elegant lines of its construction and intricate stained glass windows, a 20-foot wide cobblestone path leads to the main entrance, while a smaller stone outbuilding sits nearby. Carvings of the Lady of Graves flank the ornate main double door to the south, while a smaller plain door offers entry to the cathedral's north wing. Shawnee just kind of leads you up to the double door. And he's like, this way.
All right. Sophie will just open the door.
Okay. It leads you into a foyer. A vestibule. You can see that there are double doors to the south and more doors to the east and west. And he says, just go straight. It'll take you right to the main worship chamber.
Okay. And I'm talking to the bishop.
Bishop Kapira the Bear.
Bishop Kapira. Okay. All right. Thank you. Walk inside.
Okay. The cathedral's grand hall soars with a vaulted ceiling supported by tall marble columns. White drapery covers the looming stained glass windows along the eastern and western walls. To the south, a 15-foot wide hallway leads south under a wooden catwalk that connects a choir loft to the southeast overlooking the worship space. And you can see that there are pews and a casket in the center of polished redwood sitting on iron frames. There are sticks of incense that are burning throughout the area.
Sophie will just look at the casket and then look around, like thinking for a minute that she just interrupted something.
As you look around, you see that behind you almost miss behind the altar, there is a woman probably in her late 60s. She is dressed in all black. She almost blends into part of the scenery, and she has this funeral veil over her face. Her pale skin almost glows underneath the veil, giving her this ghostly appearance.
Is she looking down at something or is she looking up?
She's looking at you.
Huh.
Welcome, child,
Oh,
to the
thank you.
Hall of the Spiral.
I'm not interrupting anything,
Our
right?
doors are open.
Okay, she'll kind of look back at the casket and then look back at her. Is that always there?
How may I assist you, troubled one?
Well, I need to speak to Pharasma. Um, I I think I might have access to a spell that can do that, but I thought it would be better if maybe um I had help from someone that talked to her more often. I've actually never really spoken directly to her other than some prayers. And I was directed to speak to the bishop. Uh Capria?
Apira.
Apira. I'm sorry, I'm new.
That is I. I am Bishop Capera de Bear, the
Oh, nice.
bishop of the Grand Cathedral of Erasma.
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Sephora, but everybody calls me Sephi.
Mm. And you wish to speak to the Lady of Graves.
Yeah. I so um well, since you're a bishop, have you done a miracle before?
She holds her hand up as you kind of start going on, she holds her hand up. Have you tried praying? It is the way all of us speak to the gods.
Yeah, but do you ever hear anything back?
The gods speak to us in all sorts of ways. Sometimes, sometimes not, if they deign a response or not.
Well, is there a special way to pray to her that would um like maybe get the prayer to her quicker? Or that she would know that it's important?
She smiles patiently at you and she says, the gods work on their own time, my child.
I know, because I assume that she gets a lot of prayers and obviously she's very busy.
She
So I
is
just don't want my
omnipotent.
I just don't want my prayer to get lost.
It will go exactly where it needs to be. You can, if you're trying to push for more than this, you can roll a diplomacy check.
I do have my stuff.
And then what accompany your check with what you say.
So I need to ask her something that's a little bit it's I don't want to say necessarily it's on behalf of the king, but um, there's just been a lot of sadness and I'm not really fancy with words, but just a lot of bad times. And I think there was something that was really unfair that happened, and I just want to fix it. And it's kind of not within, I think, the guidelines of the spell that I want to do. So I just really want to, one, I don't want to make I want to make sure she's not offended, and two, I just want to explain myself and, I think some souls were taken that shouldn't have been.
Well, she kind of looks down at your side at like the keychain of holy symbols. Do you have sense motive?
Actually, yeah, I think
Then you can roll it. There's a flash of skepticism over her face as this person who is bearing holy symbols to every deity comes walking in to talk directly to a god. And she, as you kind of say this, she says, well, Miss Sephora, who is working with the king, but not quite working with the king. If prayer is not the vehicle you desire, then perhaps a donation, and we can provide an augury or a divination or a commune.
Um, sure. How much for the donation? I am good at healing too, so if there's healing services that you need from me.
None at the moment.
Okay. Well, I don't think an augury would be good because from what I remember from my sister, that's a short time frame.
I'm
So,
assuming you don't have the capacity to cast these spells yourself, correct? These, I warn you that they can be expensive.
uh, well, I depending on the spell, I technically could cast it. I just never have before. So that's where I was looking for guidance. So usually my sister helps me, but she's not here.
Wow.
Or if it's just easier for you to do it. So what I was thinking is if you and Pharasma talk all the time, right? She might be able to respond to you quicker versus me. But I mean, if the prayer option doesn't take very long, we could try that first and then try a commune or something. I usually don't ask for things.
So, a divination will take approximately 10 minutes. 10 minutes to maybe half an hour. And it allows me to seek a useful piece of advice in relation to a question or a goal or event or activity that you have within 1 week. I am not sure of your means, but it does require a donation. The components plus the services amount to about 545 gold.
I mean, that's fine. Do you think it would be better coming from me if you described to me how you do the spell or showed me?
There is also a commune spell, which allows the asking of yes or no questions from the deity, which is a bit substantially more expensive.
Um, well, let's start with the divination first. And if you think it's easier for you to just do it, I can give you the money. Let me just look.
Thinks, and you see she consults some parchment, and she looks and says, "The only one I have available to me this day is the divination. If you want a commune, you will have to return on the morrow."
Okay, the divination's fine. So can I? Okay, here's 60 platinum.
Okay.
And I'll just pay you the extra and then, but how about this? You let me watch so that I can potentially do the spell in the future. I'll be really quiet.
You never mind, she says. And you can see that she takes the money and begins the casting of her spell. So she lights incense like in a circle around the altar. She kind of places it carefully. She creates a circle, and um, you can see she lays out a few small bones, and as she lights the incense, it kind of filters up around her, and she looks to you expectantly. I need context.
Okay. So, um, well, I don't know if it's a secret or not, but the queen had all the hippogriffs killed, and that was really mean. And so I want to do a miracle to bring them all back because the king seemed really sad that they were killed. And I have the components, I can do that, but like I said, it's kind of breaking the rules just a little bit. But what I figure is, I mean, it's not like this is going to sound really mean, but I feel like if a person lives a full life, it's more complicated to bring them back versus a hippogriff that's just an animal or a magical beast that shouldn't have died in the first place. Right? Like it wasn't a battle. I guess she just killed them just to be mean. And that's not very nice. So I feel like Pharasma could just return them.
Silent gatherer, seeker of answers, we stand on the precipice of mortality, peering beyond the veil into profound quiet. Pharasma, hear her request. Answer her. Her eyes kind of roll back into her head. And there's a stillness. And then a breeze blows through. And you see the door to the sanctum shuts.
Okay.
Um, her voice seems to change, and she says, "Seek the spire, ascend its zenith, cry your plea. We shall answer."
Is she still in that meditative state?
Nope, she comes out after that.
Does she remember what happened? I was just curious.
Okay, well, I think that worked. I'm so glad I came to you. So do you remember what she said? She said seek the spire. Do you know where that is in the city?
There are spires all over the city.
Is there one specific to Pharasma?
This cathedral, the belfry, she says.
Seek the spire. Ascend the zenith.
Pharasma dwells within her spire.
Okay, so I
Different world.
seek the spire. Oh,
I do not know what this cryptic speech means.
you don't think I'm supposed to plane shift to like where she's at, right?
Perhaps you should take some time, reflect inwards on this.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll try praying. Is there a good spot here?
She kind of motions to one of the pews.
Right. Well, thank you. Duffy will go sit over here.
Okay.
Mm.
Shifting perspective now. Naveen, you and Miles. You are escorting Miles. Pixel. Naveen, you are escorting Miles to the Endron Academy. It's a bit of a walk to get there from the castle. It's moving a good at least halfway, if not 2/3 of the way over the city. Is there anything the two of you like to discuss as you're traveling?
I guess maybe small talk. Like
Okay.
trying to get to know this person who showed up with out of the blue, bringing bad tidings. Who I'm gonna let stay at my new compound.
Well, you find out he's a scout that specializes in stealth, detecting things, and when necessary, heavy-handed tactics. He has no qualms with taking out individuals that he feels he needs to. So if he sees someone doing wrong, he will deal with it, especially if it's toward his two sisters, Sephi being one, Irie being another that was there with us in Arabella.
You talked about this, Irie. Why is she not here?
She is attempting to retrieve a rather important chest that we no longer have access to. During our encounter with Karzug, the Claimer, he claimed Irie's life. Sephi was able to bring back Irie with a true resurrection. However, we lost all of Irie's spell components, one of which was required for us to access this other chest, which has everything that we had collected over time. So she's trying to find her way to that.
They lost all their gear.
Oh, that's all I care.
Yep.
Great.
You
I have notes. Maybe.
pass over into Old Corvosa and crest around into the raised Garrison Hill, and you make it to the Endron Academy. You're able to show Miles where he needs to go to get to this secret passage. I'm guessing you're just gonna drop him off and move on your way, or okay.
Yeah.
Where is
I'd
next
want
for
to.
you?
I feel like in this potentially short amount of time that we have to prepare, that I would need to partner with Chrysidia and the guard to help organize and train able-bodied people. So I'd probably head down to the Citadel Volshinik.
Okay. Bidding Miles farewell, he kind of goes into the tunnel and sets himself up for a long night, and a long, hopefully uneventful night. And you head towards Citadel Bolshevik. Your travel across the city is relatively uneventful. There's a large populace that has no idea of what is actually threatening them beyond the Storval Plateau. They carry about their day recovering from one catastrophe, not knowing that they face another one within mere months. You arrive at Citadel Volshinik. Its tall walls are understaffed, undermanned as usual, but it looks like they are slightly more lively than normal. You're able to enter in, and you head towards Chrysidia's office. only to see a guard that points you in the direction of the training yard. The same training yard where Larissa was married.
Yeah.
The first time, I think.
Okay.
There you can see that there is a full accounting of guard and Marines, Sable Company Marines. It looks like word has likely reached Chrysidia that she needs to recall guards, and it doesn't necessarily look like she's expecting you as she kind of turns to regard you, but it doesn't look like she's surprised to see you either. As you're looking at the remnants of the Corvosan Guard and Sable Company, you're guessing in total there's about 50 Corvosan Guard and 24 Sable Company Marines.
Do I know what they were pre-Queen?
Let's see. Before the Queen, would have been probably close to 300 Corvosan Guards, including the ones that are outside of the city walls and scouting their territory and things like that. Somewhere between 3 to 350.
Wow. Okay.
And there are 50. And these 50, I'm going to tell you, they are not the cream of the crop of what you would expect of a sterling member of the Corvosan Guard. They are partially militia. They're outfitted, but they don't wear their armor and arms well. The Sable Company Marines, the 24 that are there, look a little more seasoned. And they've kind of got like the vacant, war-torn eyes of somebody who has probably fought in the revolution against the Grey Maidens. You feel a little more confident in them. However, as you approach Chrysidia, kind of, it looks like she was talking to them. She retracts and in her place, a salt and pepper colored, stubbled human man, probably in his early 50s, goes and he starts barking at the group, and they kind of, it sounds like he's marshaling them. She comes back to you and she says, "This is all the numbers that are patrolling the streets. There's another 23 out on the roads we weren't able to recall. Too far out."
Are they making their way back though?
They are. We sent ravens to them. I expect them to be back within the week. Hopefully a few days. But it's under 100. We're recruiting. hard and fast as we can, but not everyone's thrilled to answer the call.
If,
City's tired.
yeah. If folks want to learn to fight but not join the guard, I'll be reopening the academy, the Orsini Academy and the Endrin Academy.
That's good, but we can also we also have need of you with the ones we have. Some of these recruits don't even know how to hold a halberd.
You're saying it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and they need a good teacher.
Well, oof. We do potentially have access to someone who is good with range combat.
Okay, that's good.
I haven't broached the topic yet.
Well, that's an angle we should explore. Not everybody is green here. She says there's a few promising candidates. She points to the man who's barking at them. I pulled Sergeant Aldrich Sirthana out of retirement. He was eager to earn the call, or he was eager to answer the call. He's loyal, he's steadfast, well respected. He should be able to help inspire the newest recruits. He points to a kind of slight, dark-haired, tan woman. That's Eliana. She goes by Eel. She is a recruit that is ex-Cerulean Society. I think she'd make a good spy and helpful helpful when we need somebody to watch quietly. She reports to Captain Flavio, or Captain Bromathan, he's not here at the moment. She points to a dwarf and says, that's Thorum. Thorum the Siegebreaker. He's from Yanderhof. I think he will be very valuable in the what's coming. He's got some knowledge of battle plans and siege warfare.
If he is known as a siege breaker, he should know how to hopefully fortify our defenses.
He takes great enjoyment. He's been petitioning for some upgrades to the walls of the Citadel that we just haven't had the funds to do for quite some time now. He's a member of the Guard and has been for a while. However, and she kind of like places a hand on your shoulder and starts walking inside or close to the door. She says, he comes with a bit of a complication.
Yes.
You probably aren't familiar with the name Nur of the Gilded Claw.
Nope.
Nur was Thorum's brother. He recently passed in a mishap involving the breaching festival at the academy. And Thorum has been spending a lot of time finding political chinks in the Academy's armor. He is very persistent in investigating the Academy's misdoings. A sidetrack we can't afford any longer. And also, to make matters more complicated, she points to one of the guardsmen who does not wear their armor well at all. In fact, is wearing very like padded armor, very light. He's very thin, glasses. He has a helm on, but like curly brown hair spills out underneath. That's Quillen. He's a study of the Academy. He joined us for arcane support. She points at him, and you note that he is on the opposite side of the mustering grounds as Thorum is. And then she points to a female dwarf and says, "That's Carrie, Thunder Tamer. She's a smith and has a strong sense of duty, fiery spirit, strong-willed, defender of our home, and she's a defender of the people. I think she'll fit in well."
Fantastic.
Much of the rest are green or pulled far beyond their prime or troubled by the events of the city. But we can't pick and choose, my opinion, at this stage.
I would agree.
Perhaps you can introduce yourself and maybe run them through some initial training drills. I've gotten a
Yeah.
sense of their ability somewhat, but I think familiarizing yourself with them as well might be helpful.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. So, Naveen, how do you wish to run these recruits through drills? What do you want to do, or what do you plan to do with them?
I want to get a sense of what, like, if they already have a proficiency with a sort of fighting style or weapon, so we don't waste time training in the wrong direction, I guess. Like if someone is already naturally gifted with, you know, ranged weapons, I want to make sure we focus on that versus swords versus, some bludgeoning weapon sort of deal.
Okay. You can go ahead and roll me I would say if you have any sort of profession soldier, you could roll that, or a profession that seems relevant. Otherwise, I would allow like a CMB or attack roll.
Okay, I didn't know what to call it, so I have profession butcher, and then I have profession whatever for running my sword school.
Roll profession whatever for running your sword school.
Yep. It's not very big yet because I just got my school. 23.
That's a great roll. So you start. It's a lot of trial and error, and it's time consuming because you run them through multiple different weapon groups. You train them all with blades, and you watch them go through exercises with light blades, and then you go to heavy blades, and then you go to pole arms. The spear is one of the most common weapons. You go and then you set up for archery. A lot of the rest of the day is eaten up in this time frame of shifting through different weapon groups. And the one that you find to have the most success with would definitely be the spear. It's a simple weapon that most of them are able to use in a way where there's not a lot of margin for error. Sergeant Aldrich is proficient with, it seems like he is proficient with whatever weapon he picks up and uses. He's good at using.
Okay.
Eliana seems to favor dual daggers in her style, but also seems to have some excelling using bows.
Using what?
Archery bows.
Okay.
Thorum seems like he is competent using any weapon, but he really seems to favor the flail, not that he's any better with it. And you always catch him, giving a keen eye to the ballista, and you have that knowledge that he has. Being the siege breaker, he might have some proclivities towards siege enginery. Quillen sucks at almost every weapon he picks up. He is able to use a dagger, but it is not as convincing as Eel's display with dual daggers. You have some background knowledge of where his talents might otherwise lie. And Carrie is also versed in most weapons that you throw to her. However, she seems to favor the Warhammer bludgeoning weapons and gravitates towards the Warhammer.
Great.
All in all, as you work through all the recruits, you realize that you have a long road of training ahead of you. And you're going to have to get creative with some of the drills that you use to get these recruits up to speed, fighting the enemy they're going to fight in a short amount of time. Towards the end of the day, you meet back with Cressidia, she leaves on city business and returns, and she kind of looks to you and says, well, what do you think?
I think they have potential. But I think we've got our work cut out for us. Are we wanting to continue their training here, or should we move it to one of my academies so you can focus on others?
Well, would you prefer to train the new recruits or those with a little time under their belt? I was thinking we could filter them through both locations, bring the brand new ones to one spot, and then once they've got a certain amount of training under their belt, we transfer them. Is your school up and ready to take people?
The grounds are open. The buildings need a little work. Maybe we should do it here.
Well, keep me updated how that goes.
Do you want them to do running every day with their gear?
We need to keep in mind with a lot of their training that while we're training them to learn how to fight, we also need to train them against the enemy they're most likely to face. Which is different than warfare against Grey Maidens.
Yes. And I think that portion we may need some help with. Because I have not faced these enemies yet either.
That's comforting.
I don't know that I would call that comforting. I would much rather face the Grey Maidens. Or the Red Mantis.
Well, at least this enemy, you see them coming.
Well, that's true.
They don't stab you in your sleep. Unless you
Why you
sleep
don't
heavy.
That's why you don't sleep.
Point taken, she says.
Oh. All right. Then do your best with the recruits.
We'll have them marching in gear in the morning. Don't want to burn them out just yet, she says.
I see your point, but it's going to be a long haul and they need to be ready.
Where are you off to now?
Oh, gonna go get some sticker shock at the Golden Key. So while the king is very gracious, he did not tell me how much damage was done that we would have to fix to the academy.
Old Corvosa had got the worst of it, she says.
Oh, yeah. If we get really desperate, figure out how to motivate the some of the lowlifes up in Old Corvosa. They fight pretty dirty.
I don't have a lot of visibility into that, she says. Eel is pretty much my first glimpse. I can't stand the sight of Bull. But
It's not my favorite person. But I think he would do whatever it takes not to lose his holdings, his power.
Desperate Times had us work with him before. I think Desperate Times will allow us to work with him again. He's going to start thinking he has a place here, though, a rightful place here if we keep doing this.
I mean, technically, he does, doesn't he?
Don't say that.
He pays his taxes.
Yep, for everything that he does above ground.
True. I do know some wares. Maybe they would fight.
Worth a shot. As the two of you are walking, you arrive at her office and she kind of opens the door. You can see it filled with stacks of paperwork. Well, now on to the fun part.
Maybe you should hire someone to do that.
Everyone I hire, I put a sword in their hand.
How many more people could you train if you weren't holding the quill?
I do this while everyone else sleeps.
Hey, touche.
Remember? You don't sleep. We don't sleep.
Yeah.
Good night, Naveen.
Good night, Chrysidia.
She enters into her office, shuts the door. And see the dim glow of candlelight flickers underneath the door frame.
So head over to the Golden Key.
You head over to the Golden Key, and the shop is closed, but you're still able to get in. I imagine you probably have keys, or most of the players have keys of some sort to get in.
Yes, I have a key.
You enter in, and you can see on the sales, all the items are taken from the sales floor into their storage, except the ones that stay under lock and key out here. But you can see that there is a folded slip of paper kind of sealed on the desk. It has S, like a wax sealed S stamped on it, sealing it closed.
I'm gonna assume it's for me, but call out and see if anyone else is here. Dalibor.
You can hear some shuffling, and you see Dalivor comes out. Ah, Naveen. That letter there, that is for you. It was dropped off by a courier, Stonebeard Construction Company.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. I might need your help on this. I'll open my letter.
Okay. I am going to send you a link in GChat. And it is up to you how much you want to share with this. But there is your Stonebeard proposal.
Okay. To Naveen Grosvenor. Subject, proposal for school renovation project. Greetings, Miss Grosvenor. Stonebeard Construction Company, renowned for its sturdy craftsmanship and reliable work ethic, presents the following proposal for the renovation of the school premises as per your request. Okay, there's a list. Total project cost, including contingency fund, low threat level security, 23,000 gold pieces. Medium threat level security is almost 25,000 gold pieces for the renovation project. Timeline 3 months. Do we have a timeline on when the attack's gonna happen?
Miles, I think you forecasted somewhat what you thought.
I think I had originally forecasted. Oh goodness, I can't remember now. I think it was. It might have been a month or two from now at most. I think that's what I had forecasted.
Mhm.
If they're already at Erden, it's closer to a month, probably.
Dalavor kind of looks at your expression, thinking, it says, "What is it?"
I got a quote for fixing up the Endron Academy.
Okay. It is not what you were hoping for, yes?
I mean, no, it's a little expensive. I mean, there are many buildings though. So that
May I, my dear?
yeah, please. I'm just wondering if I should schedule the construction to begin in, say, 2 months.
Where are my glasses? Oh! And he kind of like, they're on his head, and he kind of brings them down and he looks. Design, 1,000. Structural changes, 6. Interior finishes, 5. Exterior renovations, 2,600. Furnishings and equipment. Security, additional import, contingency. Methinks that there is some wiggle room for counter proposal. Or, if you pay this, press them on their timeline.
Would you be able to help me write up a counteroffer?
It is my specialty.
Thank you. I just worried that within the next month or so there might it might sustain some more damage. So I'm just wondering if we should wait to start construction until after the potential new damages
Well,
been accrued. Or lock this in before the new damage happens and then we have a locked in price.
there are some things we might be able to do without here. The furnishings, you may be able to get that on your own, or populate it with things you find for your adventures. No need to pay that if you are going to provide your own furnishings. Security. Something must have scared him. This cost, it's a high threat level cost. What is he hiring? An army? 5,000 gold.
Yeah, it was just one magic chamber.
His mustache frowns. Very important structural changes. You need that. Don't skip out on that. Contingency fund. Always good to be prepared for things that come up. But maybe not pay that up front. Maybe pay that as needed. Approved per basis. Approved per incident. Some things important, some things we fix later. Exterior renovations. This is how pretty you want your school to look.
I mean, it's no academy.
You might be able to get around this if we have access to magics could help.
Oh yeah.
Dalavor doesn't know about the falling out, does he?
I don't think so.
He says, you could ask your friend Arabella. I'm sure she can cut this cost down with some waving of magic.
Yep, potentially.
50% up front. Maybe we pay less. Overall cost less important than how much we have to pay right now.
Yeah.
Let's
Thank
get
you.
to work.
Yes, thank you.
So you're going to write a counter proposal with Dalavor.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Shifting on. Naveen, that's a process that'll take you through the night, drafting that up. Miles. You arrive in at the school, and Naveen shows you where the secret chamber is and the tunnel that leads down to it. What do you do?
Well, she showed me the secret tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to double check the mechanism for the door to see if I can close it back up, make sure it seemed as if there was never, to see if it was never discovered. Because if it's known that it has been discovered by those that used it, they might not return.
Make a disabled device.
52.
Okay, you are able to make it look as if you are able. I'd also like you to make a survival check to clear any tracks and make it appear as if this area has been undisturbed.
40.
Okay. You are able to do both.
Okay.
So you're able to rig the door, bypassing some of the mechanisms so it shuts, and you can open it back up if you need to from within.
All right.
It is pitch dark in this tunnel.
Okay. At that point, so I've basically secured the door, set that up for how I want. I'm going to kind of go back, down into the chamber, covering my tracks as much as I can.
Okay.
And pretty much just snoop around, but I'm going to do all of it invisible as per my usual shtick.
Okay. You're using your ring of invisibility?
Yeah.
So I'd like you to roll a stealth check.
So stealth with ring is absurd.
And so you are just going to be, you're in the tunnel, you said? Or
Yeah.
are you in the chamber?
Moving from the tunnel toward the chamber. Because my goal is to see if I can track a little bit farther back into the tunnel to maybe try and figure out where it came from or if there's other entry points.
The best you can tell investigating this tunnel, it looks like it was dug down and hollowed out. So it started from the secret chamber up above, and somebody broke in the wall and disguised it with a secret door, and then dug a winding passageway down. So it started from above ground.
Okay.
And as you are in the chamber, you can see the snaking rune lines and that meet with that clawed symbol, rune of greed, interspersed throughout. There's the altar in the center, you can see, with old rust-colored stains on it. Blood.
Hmm.
But not a lot of activity at the moment.
At the moment. All right. Well, I'm going to take a look through, see if there's any more fine details that I can identify.
Okay. Make a perception check. $48.
Mm-hmm.
Looking around as you're just investigating the area, you do see a set of boot prints and what also looks like a large drag mark through the area.
Mm-hmm.
As if like a body was dragged or something of that nature, but there isn't any blood left.
Okay.
And with a 48, you'd be fairly certain if there was blood, you'd at least catch some of it in the drag marks.
Mm. All right. So there was one set of boot prints. Were there any? Could I see if I can pick out any individual tracks to identify um, potentially any sort of non-human, probably see if there's anything that sticks out among tracks that were left.
Looking at the tracks, the one that you can pick out, the one that you are able to pick out, it looks like our boot prints, which is indicative of a human.
Yeah.
Or something humanoid, at least. And I believe Naveen did describe before what she had a spell to see this person who did not sound familiar to you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, beyond that, well, Miles is otherwise just going to catalog everything that he sees and then otherwise just kind of hunker down and wait.
Okay. You wait. And 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 you wait. Minutes span into hours. And with your keen sense of the outdoors, you're able to keep a rough tracking of time. And you don't really have any knowledge of the arcane, but you're pretty perceptive. As you almost feel like you're starting to, like your eyes are getting heavy, but you're able to, through force of will, keep yourself awake. Do you have like a ring of sustenance or anything like that?
Yes,
You
I
do.
do.
Are you planning to sleep the 2 hours, or are you just gonna stay awake all night?
I'm going to stay awake
Okay.
and sleep at next opportunity.
Okay, so you're guessing when you finally do catch something different, it's probably about 3 a.m. and the runes have like a soft glow to them, but you swear you're hearing something. You can make a perception check. 48. Okay. Coming from the runes, you hear the sounds of battle, explosions, screams, metal clanging, roars. Coming from the main chamber around you. And that's what you're hearing, and as you're listening, that's hearing with just a 15. As you're listening, as you're watching with a 25, you can see the runes pulse with the runes pulse with syllables of a voice speaking within them. It's difficult to make out the words, though.
The words that I can make out, what language? Is it Common, Verisian, Giant, Thessalonian, or Celestial even?
The words you are able to make out are Thessalonian.
All right, assumed as much.
And you are able to make out some words with a 35. It sounds like it's the end of a statement or a shouting or a monologue. It's accented and it's screaming in threatening rage, and it's the moment you decided you would call yourselves heroes. You recognize that.
Right. He's trying to play tricks with me.
With a 45 from the runes, you hear an explosion. Arcane in nature. An explosion of fire and power, and a voice that's muffled underneath it scream, "Irie!" Followed by a malicious cackle from that voice before. You recognize that voice as well.
Oh, yes.
It's your sister's voice. Sephi. That's all you get.
Okay. And this is all coming from the ruins. Well, I know I will definitely need someone versed in arcane, and preferably someone versed in Thessalonian lore and history. Irie being the best possible in my mind, but
yeah, without Irie, you don't have the knowledge your sister has. You're not sure how these work or what why they're doing what they do or what even they're doing other than creating sounds. But all the sounds you're hearing are familiar. They sound like things that have already happened that you are intimately familiar with.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps almost like it's reading my own memories. Perhaps. All right. Well, I will otherwise wait it out to see if anybody still returns.
You while away the rest of the hours, and nobody returns. And the rest of the evening for you passes uneventful.
Hmm.
Arabella.
When we were leaving the palace, well, I don't even think she'll get outside. But from the foyer, she would teleport to the Arcanist Circle.
Okay. Roll your teleportation.
It'll be greater.
Oh, then never mind.
Yeah.
You appear in the sales floor of the Arcana Circle. You can Sullivan is not down there at the moment, but you can see that there's a desk clerk there and one or two people on the sales floor at the moment.
Okay. She'll go up to the clerk at the desk.
The clerk is a young woman. You recognize her, but you don't know her name. You've seen her here before.
Mm-hmm.
She looks at you and she recognizes you, and she says, "Sullivan,
Yes.
he's upstairs." And she kind of like takes the cordon chain off and opens it.
Is he with anyone?
No.
Or I'll nod and go up the stairs.
Okay. You go up the stairs and you can see like the Jedi Council chamber of chairs surrounding the circle of the second floor. Sullivan is sitting in one of the chairs at a desk, and he is currently looks like he's got a journal that he's scribbling away in a quill with, and there are several papers all over the desk.
Arabella walks right up to the desk.
He looks at you. Any news from your project, he says.
Is there anybody else on this floor
This room is secure.
from scrying? From a caster
Yes.
that's more powerful than both of us?
Yes. What is going on?
Is there a way to ensure that nobody comes up these stairs?
He
Like,
moves his fingers and casts open close on the door, and the door shuts.
I have silence. We have a major problem.
Is there
And
something wrong with the your project?
the timeline needs to be in. I need to focus all my energy on it, or the majority of my energy.
It's your project, he says.
It also needs to be incredibly secret, even more than before. Have
What
you
is
told
going
anyone?
on?
there's a Rune Lord. The Rune Lord agreed. The claimer, Karzug, is apparently still alive or returned.
Still alive. Returned.
This morning, Rachel's blanking on the work city. Ergland was attacked by a scouting party of 100 giants and an ancient blue dragon. I'm assuming it's, I don't know, currently in the throes of battle or demolished by now.
That's 100 miles from here.
I'm assuming they're going to go into the Cinderlands next. And then here. I ran into 3 members of a group that have been with the Pathfinder Society. They've been investigating connections to Karzug and his, I don't want to say rise to power, but reimmersion. They've been to Singelost, the Golden City, seeing his gathering giant armies. He has rune giants. They have one in their possession that they polymorphed into a rabbit and keep as a figurine to show as proof. They've seen at least 2 others.
What is a rune giant?
It is a created creature that is the combination of a taiga giant. Rachel forgets what's the other part.
Fire, I think it was.
Tiger giant and fire. Has the ability to control other giants. Stands at 40 feet tall or more. Immensely powerful.
That sounds positively terrifying.
It is. The fact he has a ancient dragon under his control. And apparently he had more.
More dragons? More ancient dragons?
The group, I believe, killed most of the ones that they came across, except this ancient blue dragon. I'm just assuming that he might have more in his reserves. They faced him over 3 months ago, and they were defeated. And their arcane caster was able to cast Time Stop. Though they were formidable. He killed the majority of their group.
Inadequately prepared, though.
I only just met them this morning, so I haven't concerned myself with divining how the battle actually went. They were faced with giants as well as the dragon and him in his demiplane. at Senchalost. He's also been scrying on them. My familiar Majenko noticed a scrying orb that I was able to dispel after multiple attempts. Fortunately, I am under the protection of a mind blank right now, so he does not know of my existence. I have brought this to the attention of the King of Corvosa and some of the members of the group that defeated the Queen. I have not made it clear my intentions to increase my study to see about using the pool as a weapon against Karzug. With him scrying on those other members, I think it's best on a need-to-know basis.
Pull your
don't-
mic just a little bit that way.
This way?
Right there is good. As you're mentioning this to him, he says, well, then perhaps we should up the count of researchers on the pool. Perhaps I should join you. Or some of your compatriots who took the Queen down.
My compatriots that took the Queen down, one, are going to be focused on other things, and two, they might not do what's necessary in order to study the pool. And three, it might, for some of them, it's just not in their skill set. As for you, I have no pull in the city. If you enjoy living here, you need to either focus on moving the Arcanist Circle to someplace else, or ensure that Karamaga can withhold the siege. You have high walls, but a dragon won't care, and neither will a giant throwing boulders.
This is much more in perspective now. He says, like making a motion at the papers up on his desk. And you look and it's like there's script in giant written on some of the papers, and there's weird, like almost Rorschach drawings on other papers. It looks strange to you, whatever he's doing. Hearing that, he says,
How so?
the augurs the past few months have been unilaterally prophesying some very strange, foreboding messages. In fact, there was an entire week that no matter what anybody would ask of the augurs, they could only provide one prophecy.
Which was?
And you see he like gathers the papers and he takes like the Rorschach drawing and he like references all of them and he says, translates roughly to a prophecy whispers through the mists. Should the Ancient One be left unchecked, they shall peer through the ring, glimpsing the tapestry of time, seeking the path to his future. He's like, look, as he's reading this, he looks at you and then he looks back down and he sees like the look on your face. But a choice looms in the city of secrets. He kind of like taps his desk. Veiled in promises sweet yet perilous, submit willingly or face the wrath of ancient power. This world teeters on the edge of fate, a thread unraveling in the hands of uncertainty. I look at this, and this makes some sense to me. I don't think he's just going to attack Karamaga. I think he's going to try to recruit us. This is a very old city and has existed for a very long time. Submit willingly or face the wrath of ancient power. Join or die. The prophecy they uttered continues, he says. I'm not sure to make what most of this is. The Ancient One's cryptic machinations stir the echoes of a forgotten reign that conquers awakening, relics of your whispers, secrets veiled in shadow, their true purpose obscured. The ancient tapestry unravels, it paints a picture of an unstoppable force. The Ancient One orchestrates the awakening of a legendary army transcending to march upon Varisia, spectral force forged in ages, loom ominously poised to conquer the land with ease. Is any of this making it puts the second paragraph for me in perspective, but does any of the rest of this make any sense to you?
Well, I mean, his army, I'm not good with prophecy. The rune giants aren't ancient, or they are ancient. They're created, and they're created through an ancient process. So if that's what the metaphor for that is, I don't.
So would that mean that he's creating an army of rune giants?
That's my assumption.
Here, he hands a paper and hands it to you. Take this to your allies. See if one of them might be able to make something of this, or if you can. I doubt you'll have the time with your pool studies.
Yeah, I can give that to the ones that have faced him. Maybe it'll be clearer to them. Do you think the city would join him?
I don't know.
How much pull do you have here?
As much as anybody else who leads one of the factions here, and there are many, and they change often.
Do you have a safe house where you can relocate?
Many.
Would you join him?
I would sooner flee.
Do you have a quick way to do that?
You know I do. It's how I arrived at the Sunken Queen. Out of character. You remember he teleported there.
Right. I have learned how to create teleportation circles. My limitation right now is funds. But if there's something strategic as a way to get you and your staff quickly out of here if necessary.
When
I
he
do.
does come here, if he offers an offering of honey to the factions here, I don't know what they will say. And I can't guarantee I alone can convince them otherwise.
Well,
I may need some assistance in persuading them, he says.
I can talk to Dalibor.
If it boils down to it, we could certainly use help in defending this place.
I can talk to the others, but if you have stock here that is highly valuable, I think you should create a safe house. This is the Rune Lord agreed.
This place is the safe house. It is a place that is free from law and order. It is free from Hell Knights and Abadarians alike. It is untouched by tax laws. I can move it. I can move my things to other locations, but this place remains the freest place in Varizia.
Maybe you need to look outside. Demiplane. I'm just telling you from the perspective of somebody who's lost everything, or that's had people come into their home and take everything from you. I know that the pool's important. I can handle it, and if I need help, I can reach out. I don't know how much time you have before they're here. And who knows if he even wants to negotiate or what that negotiation process is like. He might just send a raid in to destroy half the city and then negotiate.
I should remind you that this is a very important location, he says. And you and your friends should have a vested interest in it. If they take this city, they take the Half-Life path and they come directly to you.
And that's why I'm here. Dalibor is warning the Shawanti people because they're the next ones in the path. Others are preparing the city because we're not prepared for this at all. And if we're going to have a fighting chance, if they make it to us, they have to start preparing now. Not, we haven't even announced it to the nobility yet or to the citizens. We have to get the city in a place where it won't cause panic. We've gone through one revolution already. If we tell the people now, I don't know if they'll stay. If you're coming with me to focus on the pool, then you need to abandon this place. If you want to save it, then you need to spend your efforts saving it. Or you need to make a duplicate of yourself.
I have means to contact you magically. If I call upon your aid, can I count on the heroes of Corvosa and your new allies to come to Karamagas?
You could count on me and whoever is willing to come with me. I know for sure Dalibor will come. And if I need to, I can coerce others. I do have a request.
Circle collaborates, he says.
There's a little girl here named Annie.
Yes.
She was our tour guide. If they attack, I'm assuming she'd be one of the people that'd be killed along with her mother. They're nobodies in your city. I'd like you to send an aide to find her and to let her and her mother know about a potential opportunity in Corvosa.
I can do this. It would be simpler and quicker if you were to look on her yourself.
If you're not able to find her, I do have a piece of her hair, or I can look on her myself, but that takes me away from the pool. If you don't have an assistant available, then I can do it myself.
I do. I just cannot guarantee when I will be able to find her, but I will send our feelers out to search for him. It's a large city, and there's lots of places to hide. So give us time.
That's fine. She's well, when I've ran across her, she's been in the front of the city offering tours and scamming people.
Is there anything else?
Not at the moment. I'm going to return to the pool and start looking through the notes. If you can have your research assistants, one research Karzug, and then we can use that as a cover to also research Sorshan in the pool. Maybe deviate and research some of the other rune lords. I think there's a chance that Karzug has spies in Corvosa. If he has spies in Corvosa, he probably has spies here. So I think we need to diversify our research. If he doesn't find out that we have access to one of the rune pools, that can be something that can turn the tide.
It is certainly our secret weapon. Whatever it is.
Well, from what I can tell, he's very arrogant. And that's a weakness that we can use against him.
I'll have my researchers look into it.
I need the return to Corosa in the morning, so that's when I'll give him this note. If there's nothing else, I'll be on my way.
Okay, so you head out. Where are you going?
Arabelle's, I think, gonna teleport to outside the pool. The Sunken Queen.
Okay. Greater teleport again?
Yep. Because I'm also running out of spells. Although she would probably pick up some supplies, but I can do that off stream.
We will.
Yeah. And she'll send Ashania sending.
Okay. You're sending Ashani ascending.
Just
You can message that to me
yeah.
and we'll go over any sendings you send.
Okay.
But you go to the Sunken Queen
Mhm.
and you are going to study Iliosa's notes.
Yep.
And with the Ashborough archives, correct?
Correct.
So Iliosa's notes combined is considered a library. It is the Everdawn Pool, Eurythnia, and Runewells, a complete study by Iliosa Arabasti. Using this gives you a bonus, a +3 bonus, on research checks for using Knowledge Arcana, Spellcraft, or use Magic Device. With the Ashborough archives, when you cross-reference, it gives you an additional +2 for a +5 in total. You need to be able to speak Common, which I'm sure you do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand Thessalonian?
Yes.
Do you understand Infernal?
Yep.
Okay, you have to understand all three of those to be able to research this properly. So, researching will take you 8 hours of time. It's going to be the rest of the night for you.
That's fine. She'll cast Keep Watch.
You
And
will
then
need to.
if I can, I will also cast Moment of Prescience.
Okay, let me look at Moment of Prescience and see if this works.
Right.
Sure.
And I'll use an Arcanist point to increase my caster level when I cast that.
You just need to look at Keep Watch.
Well, and I guess if Keep Watch doesn't work, then I will just suffer.
Vigorous activity. I think that you're okay. So, you need to roll either a Knowledge Arcana, Spellcraft, or use Magic Device. The DC you need to make is a 41 to get anything.
I'll do Knowledge Arcana.
Okay, and remember you do get a +5 from the library and the archives. Wow. Okay. 63 minus 41. So you spend a long night, rest of the day and night researching. And I have a couple questions. Do you have 10 ranks skill focus or 5 ranks and it's a class skill in Knowledge Arcana? How many ranks do you have in Knowledge Arcana?
18.
Okay. So roll me 1d12 plus your int plus 4 int modifier.
Plus 4,
Plus 4, yep.
19.
19. Okay. Your night grants a fruitful evening of research, and you come across the discovery. Do you want me to say it out loud here, or do you want me to message it to you?
Say it out loud.
I'm inclined to say it because it's more interesting for the stream.
Yeah. If you
So
could.
I
Oh,
will.
go ahead.
I'll send it to you also. You learn. You're reading through. You're across the archives of your aunties and your mother are related to this, but they're related to this tangentially with blood magic. So it helps, but it's not complete. It's more referencing a magical school you're not completely familiar with. And what you learn is the first discovery in this description is that the pool reacts to blood, but not just any blood. Specially prepared blood of an apex spellcaster. Iliosa bemoans that she and Togamore have neither the alchemical skills nor spellcasting power to perform such a feat, and that she must outsource the preparation of all the blood to an external party. She has the seneschal contact, her seneschal is Togamore, contact Ramoska Arkmenos. I'll put that in the chat. A previous employee and contact of the Red Mantis. She does not have much of the details on how he has prepared the blood outside of stating that she knows he uses some sort of special powdered onyx and an alchemical process of some kind. However, she mentions that the good is transferred and communication is held. The good is transferred and communication is held via magical means.
So when she means specially prepared blood, that means the connection that she needs to make with the pool.
It sounds like there's some sort of process to prepare this blood before it is introduced to the pool.
Okay. So the next step is figuring out what that process is.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So that leads you early into the morning of the next day.
Okay.
Are you staying at the Sunken Queen to continue your research, or are you doing anything else?
When it's the morning, because we were supposed to meet in front of the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she'll leave to um she's just gonna teleport if that's easier. I think she would just teleport back
Okay.
to be in front of the school. Or she would, yeah, because she needs an uninterrupted time in her the research, correct?
Yes.
Not like she could split it up.
Yes. You do have cumulative research, so you have one session. You're going to get a +1 to your next research as long as you don't span out the time too long, more than a
Right.
month. So write
Yeah.
that down. So you're using a regular teleport. Roll your teleport chance. You're very familiar. You're
20.
on target.
Okay.
All right. Dalibor,
Yes.
we shift focus now to you. You are heading to Flameford to warn the Sklarquois of what is to come.
Yes. Before I leave, I will have one of my workers, run a note over to the gold market to acquire a tailor.
Okay.
With instructions on tailoring a ordered courtier's outfit for customer. And I will send half of the payment along with it that the customer paid in advance.
Who is this for?
Enoch? At least that's what he said his name was.
All right.
I'm assuming he left like something behind so that we knew what his measurements were.
So the date of today is the 15th. So that hasn't happened yet. We're still a little bit behind Stolen Souls.
Oh, I thought that just happened.
If you look at the calendar.
Oh, my bad. I thought that literally happened today. Okay, then never mind.
But you will.
But I will.
Do that.
I have made the effort to show that I'm paying enough attention to make sure that it gets done across games. I just didn't realize that I thought that happened today, not tomorrow. Then yes, then I go.
Okay.
I have my boots.
So you're using your boots. Roll that teleport. I would say you're very familiar with Flamford. You stayed there for quite some time. And 50 is good enough.
Yeah.
So here's where it gets good. As you appear in Flameford, you immediately hear commotion and look, and the first thing your eye sees is a massive fire. And your heart jumps. But as you're looking around, it quickly settles, and you can kind of see that this is not a battle happening here. You can drag yourself onto the map if you are not already there. You can see as you arrive that they are chanting. Do you speak Shawanti?
I believe I do. Let me double check. Yes, I sure do.
You can hear that the elders of the clan and many of the tribespeople are chanting blessings. And the warriors have decorated their tent in different sorts of colorful paintings of oranges and vibrant reds. Some of the paintings almost appear like they were painting sunsets and things of that nature. There's a huge fire, and you can see a couple aurochs that are on spits that they are cooking. There are clusters of members of the tribe that are dancing around the fire. There are colorful strips of colored dyed leathers, like streamers, that are flowing through the space. You can see the children that are here are running and playing games. It looks like a celebration.
I'll just sigh a breath of relief and slowly walk into town, making it so that everyone sees me, so nobody is caught off guard by somebody coming in.
As you enter in, you can see the Chieftain Reddyclaw, Crojan's uncle, standing by the major fire. He's got like a hollowed horn filled with something that you can smell from here. And he looks at you and he raises his horn and he says, "The now rest, bring him drink. A friend feasts with us tonight." And you see two what look like burn riders come. One with a horn, they just shove the potent liquor into your waiting arms, and they escort you to the fire.
Okay.
They seem in very good spirits.
I will try to be in as good of spirits as I can be.
You have a pretty good social skills, so even if it's, roll me a bluff check. Because while you're not necessarily being deceitful, you're also not trying to spoil the mood.
Exactly. 23.
23. Nobody seems to suspect anything the wiser.
Okay.
The Sun Shaman is not currently there, but there is Kemchet is there, and you do not currently see Crojan or Larissa.
Okay.
You can see they carve off a hunk of meat and like just with a dagger and pass it to you, and there's all sorts of revelry being had. You must have received news.
What is the party?
We expect the imminent joining of the Scarclaw Stallion and the continuation of our people's line.
That is excellent news.
You can roll local.
$24.
When he says stallion, you know that the Shawanti, the Scarclaw specifically, have a very strong affinity with horses.
Mm-hmm.
Horses are like, owning a horse with the Scarclaw is like owning a house in today's world. It is their most valuable possession they can own.
Okay.
Their whole economy is based off of horses. The Burn Riders' lifeblood of surviving when raids into Belkson is based on how strong of a horse they have and how fast they can ride. When he says stallion, though, you get that he is not talking about a horse.
I'm
He
assuming
is
another
talking
tribe.
about a tribe member.
Oh, okay.
And when he speaks his lineage, this is somebody who is close to him.
Okay. And to whom do we owe the congratulations?
We expect burning rage, who is with child, to pass any day now.
So they're talking about the birth of a child, not someone being born, or not somebody getting married.
The birth of a child, yes.
Gotcha. Well, this is excellent. Congratulations.
It is cause for great celebration. You see Kemshet, the very sour burn rider who had recently come back from fighting orcs, raises his auroch horn as well, and he says, "A celebration, a monumental day for the tribe."
I put on a smile.
Warm smile.
As warm as I can be. I'm like, the chief probably knows me better than anyone else, so he's probably the only one that would know that there's something else on my mind.
Except for maybe Crojan.
Well,
If he
that
were
I mean,
there,
that who's
the people-
present? Who's present? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Crojan probably wouldn't either because Crojan's not too bright. But the chief is bright.
He looks at you and says, "You have not arrived because of the coming of the birth of the stallion."
I take a deep breath. No one has notified us. We did not know. That is not why I have come. I wish I did know. I would have come with gifts.
The drumming continues, but sort of fades, blending into the background. Well, speak your mind, now. Of Crojan eats what he kills.
I look at the people here.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people around the fire.
Are they just random people, or are they like people who are higher up in their culture?
There are two burn riders who I wouldn't say they're culturally important because they're the warrior caste of the tribe. So they're the ones that go out and fight orcs and fight and raid villages and stuff like that. And so they're warriors, so they're held in high regards. There is Crow Feather, who you've seen before. She's the one who came and got Larissa from the castle and transported her back here.
Okay.
So she's some sort of shaman. There's Kemchat, who has been described as a legendary hero of the Shawanti people,
Right.
and Chieftain Reddyclaw. But there's other people around the fire, like around it, but
Yeah.
not at it immediately with you, that are not necessarily.
I will say
Outposts.
quietly, I must speak to you on matters of war, of which you will be the first target.
Make a diplomacy check.
And I would like to speak somewhere where I wouldn't ruin the mood of the party. This is for your ears more than anyone else.
He kind of shares a glance between Crowfeather and to Kemchat. You see Kemchat bristles a little bit. He kind of like raises his haunches, and Chief Reddyclaw kind of hops to his feet and points with his ale horn and over to the tent in the corner.
Okay. I will make my departing whatever gestures it is, if it's a bow or a nod, even to the guy that's usually kind of bristly and rude.
It's not
Just
really anything. The Shawanti aren't really a
right,
people of formality, so
right.
just a nod.
But I'm giving him the respect, you know, I'm whatever it would be to give him or show him respect as well as anyone else, because he's just as much part of this, and we're gonna need his sorry ass as well. So
You see Reddy Clar, he throws back the tent flap and steps in and says, "What is the ill news you bring on the day of our celebration of the great stallion's birth?"
what was the name of the
And by
city that
day,
got sacked?
and by day he means week.
What was the name of the city that got sacked again? I forget.
Erglin.
Erglin. Do you know of the city of Erglin?
Detestable place.
Well, it no longer exists. It's been wiped off the face of the city. There's an army coming from the north. They've destroyed every city along the way, and they're coming straight through here. You may be next. Well, they are, what, half a month away? 15 days, maybe, give or take?
I will ready the Burn Riders. We can meet them in glorious battle.
Their giants are 40 feet tall. 1 foot will crush a single tent. They also have a giant dragon, the size of your ring that holds your horses. And that's just the scouting party. The army is coming behind them. I've come here to warn you, because I hold you and your people very dear to my heart. And I doubt you will choose to run, but if that is the choice, everyone will probably die. I don't know what options there are. There is reinforce us with Corvosa and come back after the war, or stay and fight and stand your ground. But I come to give you warning. We just found out today. You were my first priority, because I care about you and your people.
He places a hand on your shoulder. Then bring you and the other Naurists. Let us meet them in battle. Your strength is known throughout the Cinderlands. We will fell them.
I feel even our power alone is not enough. We will need to raise an army. He has conquered countries, continents even. There was one group such as us that already tried and failed, and he is only gaining more power. And they were just as good as we were.
No, they were weak. We are strong.
We will need to be much more strong. I don't know if you're... Who's the old man that used to... The historian guy?
The Sun Shaman?
Yeah, the Sun Shaman. I would bet the Sun Shaman knows stories from the ancient times of a man known as the Rune Lord Karzug, who once conquered all of these lands, all the way to both oceans.
You come here warning us, and of this I can appreciate. It is good to know the enemy you face, and face them head on. But you come...
I sit down almost defeated.
You sit down and he's like, but know that this is our ancestral home, and our stories also tell of another enemy. The enemy that dwells to the south. The enemy that hides behind its walls, that forced us from our home.
I nod. I know. And that is why it is your decision to make. But I come to do the best I can to save all of our people. I don't know if we will survive without you, and I do not think you will survive without us. But that is your decision. You are a great people, noble and strong.
There is another option, he says. The Sklarquaw have long bickered with many of the others, and we hate the he almost says it and he looks to you and he doesn't say it.
I'll say it. Whatever the word, I forget the name.
Shamek.
Yeah. The Shamek.
Yes. The
Yes.
Shameks to the south. But perhaps the disparate tribes may band together. Together, all the Shawanti facing a common foe. None could stand against us. You speak with a silver tongue, he says. Perhaps you can aid us in this joining.
I will do what I can, but I, as you state, to them, am still a Shamek.
If they see the Sun Clan, the Sklarquaw, behind what they would call a Shamek, there are none harsher on those Corbosans than us.
I nod. Time is short. But I will do what I can. I will go with if I can. But I needed you to know so that you could prepare the people that are important, that need to know. And devise a plan.
Will you face this enemy with us?
I don't know what the day is to come. But if that's what I need to do, that's what I will do. I can't save everyone. I'm just one person.
It is war. There will always be casualties in war.
And this is why I hoped we could all work together, so that we are all together. But I don't know if that's going to work.
Make a diplomacy check.
And I'm speaking as plain as possible. I'm not using fancy words or anything like that because I want him to know that he is getting all the truth. What am I rolling? Diplomacy?
Yep.
I doubt that their population is 5,000 or more. How's a 41? I can't get much better than that.
No, I know, and I had set the DC at a 40. Reddy Claw, you know, he is unwilling to abandon Flameford. They have been forced off their land, and he would rather
Die.
fight to the death and protect his lands than be forced off again. But you sense a chink in the armor. With your plain speech, he may be open to accepting aid on his own turf. Though he despises the Corbosans, the Magnamarians, the brittle Portians, he may entertain fighting alongside them in the Cinderlands. For whatever that's worth.
I don't know what forces I can bring up in less than a week. If I can get some people here to help you, and if it goes poorly, will you choose to retreat and reevaluate your forces with us, where we can stand together when the time comes further down the road? Remember, we just fought the Civil War. We just overthrew the Queen. We changed our entire democracy. I'm sorry, he doesn't say that. We changed our entire organization of the city of Corvosa. We have very little funds after what she did to all of us. She tried to do to her citizens what they did to your people. And I would like better conversation between your people and ours. However, this army puts a chink in that. But there are no better horsemen in the world than those who are here. And I have seen fighters from your people that put everybody in Corvosa who calls themselves warrior to shame.
Of course you do.
And some of your people helped us. I think
We have no love for the Corvosans. But if you bring the Corvosans to us and they shed their blood fighting with us against this enemy, then we will consider your request.
I will speak to our new king. And hopefully we can make an arrangement. For your new stallion.
As you're saying this, the tent flap flies open. And you see the Sun Shaman. You have arrived.
Were you expecting me?
Yes. Well, you and others.
I look at the shaman and then I look at the chief. Can you explain?
The chief just kind of steps back, giving room for the elder as he walks in. And you know that though the chief commands the Squarquaw as a whole,
Yeah.
the Sun Shaman carries a tremendous amount of respect. Even so, many times he has overruled the chief.
Right.
On matters of spirituality. And the Sun
Right.
Shaman says, I have seen it. I have seen the enemy. The haze of my visions. They show the tide of death that comes. I heard some of your words. That you ring true that you are not enough. Not you and not all of you. But I know of a way that you may have a chance. Return to me.
Against the whole army? Or just the scouts that are just weeks away?
It will give you a chance to face your destiny. The spirits speak not in specifics. They only speak broadly, openly. The first they describe is you must return with your allies. Return with those you trust to take this journey with. Those that you bring with you to the very end. Bring them with you to our fire. That is where we will discuss what is next.
I nod. And I look at the chieftain. I think I understand. I understand twofold. The scouting party is coming, and that will give your people an idea of what is to come. And we will bring people to fight alongside you against that scouting army. With shared shed blood. Perhaps we can learn to be allies in the bigger fight to come. Your daughters will believe and see what is the most important thing, your people's survival, ultimately. I will go back and I will let them know, and I will bring everyone I can to at least stop the scouting party. And from there, hopefully we can find a way to stop the overall army.
I bring challenges when you return, not just of your army, but you and those you surround yourself with. Challenges from the past that test your spirit, your history. Challenges of the present, the binding that holds you, and challenges that have yet to come when the moon crests to a new sun. How brightly does it burn? Your trials await.
I nod. I look at the chieftain.
Ready Claw looks at you. Stay the night with us, celebrate. Perhaps see your friend Burning Rage.
I need some good news and a good time to bring up the spirits. I look at the shaman. When I go back, would you come back with me?
Make a diplomacy check.
33.
I am old and detest travel. Bring my words with you. My body stays.
It doesn't hurt to ask.
He hobbles out, his hand on his back, his form hunched over with arthritis.
Wait, before you go.
Right.
Here. I hand him mix a little something. Have a drink of this. It will make your night much better. It's age resistance.
Oh. He looks to Ready Clar. I will go and partake of the ale.
Freaking no age penalties. I mean, well, he might still have some depending on how old he is.
Ready Clar places a heavy hand on your shoulder and says, "Come, it can't all be doom and gloom.
No, it can't. And I pick up the drink. You may take a swig.
And he leads you out. And he says, your friend, the expecting is in this tent. And he points to the small tent, or actually not, it's not that tent. He points to the tent over by the horses.
Okay.
He's like, this one. Your friends await in there.
Do you have somebody standing and ready to deliver? As I follow him.
Not quite. The time is not yet right,
Ah,
but soon.
well, if it happens tonight, you may have one of the best people on hand. And I will go visit.
Okay. You enter into the tent and you see Crojan, who immediately stands as he sees you, and he comes over and gives you a big hug. It's only been like a day or two since you
Yeah.
last seen him, but it
Yeah.
feels like so much longer.
I give him a hug.
And you see Larissa stands up, Burning Rage stands up out of the numerous furs and throws that are positioned around. She has a very comfortable nest kind of formed out of. And you just saw her 2 days ago. What you are seeing is not possible. She looks like she is in her mid to late third trimester.
You should not be that far along.
Well, I am. Larissa Burning Rage has put her body through hell. Out of all of you who have suffered in your adventures, none have suffered more than Larissa during the events. She has tied the most for deaths in the campaign, and she lives in the form of an old member of her race, trading away the years of her prime with none of the benefits that come with the wisdom of old age. And through it all, a pregnancy that has affected her late into the latest trimester of it. Still, she looks strong and carries herself well despite all of these things.
Lay back down.
Don't tell me what to do. You're not the chieftain around here. And you see Crojan places a hand on her shoulder. And she just kind of like stares through her. Doctor's orders. Oh, fine. He sits down. Slumps back down.
I check her vitals and, all the basic
Make a heal check.
stuff. 32.
Everything that you are seeing is pointing towards what your eyes show you. That she has been pregnant for months. She's, into like 40 weeks or 7 to 8 months. It has been 2 weeks since she would have consummated her marriage with Crojan, or maybe a little bit longer, but she got married 2 weeks ago.
Did she get aged after that or before that?
After.
Oh. That little bastard. That stupid deck of cards, I say to her.
What? Yeah, it's caused me a lot of problems, but I gotta cool weapon out of it.
Yes, but you
I
know
don't
how
think
it
I ever
you know
would've.
how it aged you?
What? Yeah. Yes, I feel it. In my
Yes.
back, in my knees.
It
I
seems to be
hurt in
doing it to
places
your
I-
child as well, since you are one with it when that spell happened.
That's fucked up.
This is why you are so far along. Is that a good estimate on my part?
That's
Considering my knowledge of magic and my knowledge of
a-
like medicine.
That's a reasonable assumption.
So that magic is aging your child as part of your negotiations, I guess.
This wasn't part of the deal, man.
It might have just absorbed the magical effects. Who knows? Your child might have saved your life.
Her
Maybe
face,
you,
her face like sinks.
maybe you would have died of old age. And the child absorbing this magic in the womb as being one with you might have offset that. I do not know, of course. This is all just theory. Arabella might be able to know more. Some of this might be
Well,
more in her wheelhouse than mine.
we're not on speaking terms right now.
This is a universal situation. Everybody's not speaking to someone. But if I see her, I can ask. Let's be honest. There's a good chance that she's going to have to come here.
What are you doing here?
I say
Why?
with the most obvious lie so she knows I'm lying. I've come to celebrate the child. Of course. Somebody sent a messenger to let me know that this was happening.
Trojan looks at Larissa and says, "See, it is good news." And Larissa says,
And then I chuckle at him because I know that that's funny even to her.
she just shakes her head. She sees this. She sees right through you.
Yeah,
knows
that's it was intentional so that she saw right through me.
Crochen is half blind when it comes to things
Exactly.
of
Exactly.
any sort of nuance.
Exactly.
Well, she says I should get another drink.
You are ready to have child. You should not be drinking.
Is that bad?
Yes. It could make child. I look over at Crojan.
Strong?
Take mentally and also make it physically.
She sits back down. All the women here drink while they're pregnant. Why do I get to have the special treatment?
Because you're special.
Thanks for reminding me. Don't worry, I will not drink either.
It makes me wonder what other magical effects would have an effect. Anything else that you've done, taken, could also have been absorbed.
We should have we should have the sun shaman pray, chant over you and give you blessings again. Who knows what foul witchcraft this could have done to our child.
But also think of all the magical benefits during the combat that we put upon her. Strength, dexterity, intelligence, wisdom, speed. You could have one of the most powerful members of your tribe ever. The two of you.
Or it could be bad.
Well, best to proceed with best caution and hope for the best.
How long do we have you for?
I leave in the morning after the celebration. But we will be back, I'm sure, within a few days. All of us. And I give her that stern look. And probably more. As many as we can muster.
All right, who do I gotta kill?
No. You don't. You need to have child. I look
She
at
looks
Krojan.
busy.
You make sure
She looks-
she does not fight. She cannot
She
be
looks-
hurt. Remember, the two of you hold the future of your entire tribe right there.
Make a diplomacy
That
check.
is future chieftain of your people.
Make a diplomacy check. You are telling Larissa not to fight.
No, I'm telling Krojan not to let her fight. But yes. What am I doing? Diplomacy?
Yes.
Oh, wait. No,
Oh.
I am. This is important to me. I'm re-rolling it. 29.
29. Okay. Larissa just sighs. She hates this.
On the bright side, look at how quickly it's coming along. In the bright side, sooner rather than later, you will be better. And child will be born. It could happen any moment. It could happen before I return.
And then you can fight. And we can teach the baby how to fight.
I just smile and nod.
So I got that going. Which is nice.
When at
Which
this
is
time,
nice.
when at this time your chieftain will explain everything, or the shaman. But for now, you have one focus and one focus only. You need to fight for this child. This is a battle not made on the battlefield.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put it in terms that she'll agree with.
She begrudgingly agrees.
This big celebration. What is year that your... and I say this to Krojan. What is year that your children have significant age?
Not year. Act.
Oh. I nod.
When they learn how to ride. Significant year.
When do they get their first horse of their own?
That is earned. They must first slay one of the flaming buffaloes of the Cinderlands. And we prepare it in a great feast.
Then I will do my best to try and find the greatest horse that I can find for your child when that day comes. And I put my hand on his shoulder. Go. You're a good man, Krojan. I will see you in a few days, yes?
Yes. Don't go sharing them. Just tell them I am strong.
You are strong. It takes a lot to deal with her. I say that so she can hear it.
Excuse me. Hey, I'm still here.
That's good. And hopefully you'll be here for many more years. I'm going to go have drink.
So you go out.
I'll drink for you as well.
So you go out and you celebrate with the Shoanti people, and in the morning you head back to Corvosa.
Yes.
It's a long night of drinking, but you're immune to poison, so you can drink until everybody else is drunk silly.
Exactly.
In the morning, you teleport back. Go ahead and roll me your teleport.
Wouldn't this be funny? Oh, let me pull up that chart.
Yes.
Study carefully or very familiar?
Very familiar.
Okay,
You're good.
because I'm going back, not the right.
Yeah, you're going to.
I'm going home.
You're going home. You've lived there a good portion of your life.
Have a good one, tabletop.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
And I'm going to head straight to the castle.
All right. Going back to Sephi. Sephi, you spend a lot of time praying,
Yep.
but you don't get much time at answers.
Yeah. Well, I guess I don't normally research things. Maybe I should just do something. Um, can she see where like the spire is in the cathedral?
Well, you've spent a lot of time praying.
Yeah.
And actually, in fact, Steffi, in your absent-mindedness, you dozed off. And you wake up and morning light is flooding through the stained glass window. Your eyes blink open and you shoot up and you realize that you fell asleep. There's a blanket on you as you're like laid over in the pew.
Uh-oh. I hope Ashani isn't still outside. Huh. I'll sit up and start to fold the blanket.
Okay.
Well, Pharasma, I kind of wish that you'd be a little bit more direct with your answers. But I guess that isn't how gods work. Is there anybody else in the cathedral?
It looks like there is an acolyte there. He is currently pouring water into one of the fountains.
Excuse me.
He looks at you. You can see he is a hunched old man dressed in grays, hood pulled far over. He looks at you and it looks like his mouth curls in, indicating he probably doesn't have any teeth. Yes.
If Pharasma told you to seek the spire, where would you go?
Well, the best place I could go would be to the belfry. We don't have any sort of spire other than that here. But I like to have lunch up there. It clears my head. That and I talk to the birds. You know, as a matter of fact, I wonder if my favorite pigeon, Franklin, will be there today. You know, Franklin, he likes to eat peas. I can actually feed him peas. And he comes right to me, he knows his name now.
Oh,
I
that's
just go up
cute.
there and I say, Franklin, come on over. And he flies on down, and then I give him some peas. Isn't that wonderful?
It's Wonderful. And it's a
I
good way to
don't
get
like-
rid of peas.
I don't like peas much myself.
Yeah,
We
I don't
always
either.
serve them here. It's like nothing we eat but peas. He
Okay,
goes
well,
on and on.
okay, well, that's a nice story. Do you think I can go up there?
Make a diplomacy check. Oh, I think I can get you up there just for a little bit, but don't tell anybody. It's not open to the public, and keep it quiet just between the two of us.
Okay, it'll be our
This
secret.
this way. Come on, dear.
Our secret in Franklin's.
Yes, this way. And he kind of
Okay.
points up. He takes you out the front doors and he points. That's the belfry right there. And as he points to it, it like has this celestial aura to it. Not like looking at an angel, but like the way the sunrise is hitting it gives this glow, this aura around it. He's like, I think we have a ladder right over there.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
get the ladder for you.
Okay. I can,
The
well,
inside door's locked, and I forgot where I put the keys.
oh gosh. Okay, well, I'm sure I can climb a ladder, and then she's gonna also cast airwalk on herself just in case.
Okay. There's no check required to climb the ladder. But you climb up and you get up to the belfry, and you have a it's pretty high up. You can see over the wall from this point, and you can see a lot of the grounds of Corvosa. You can even see the great tower peeking up over over the academy, far to the northeast of you.
Well, I feel like Pharasma would know. Yeah, let's just go for it. So Sephi's gonna go into her bag of holding
Okay.
and grab her pouch.
Okay.
And she saw like in the downstairs there was like a spiral.
Yeah. The symbol for asthma, yeah.
Okay, so she's gonna take her 25k of diamond dust.
Okay. Just a big fistful of glittering dust that is a fortune in your hand.
And I'm assuming she's standing on like a platform in the belfry.
Yeah, it's like there's the bell behind you, and you're
Yep.
standing around it.
So
it's
she's
an
gonna
open.
she's gonna try to like with sand, like sprinkle and walk in a spiral
Okay.
and spread out the diamond dust in a spiral.
Okay.
And as the verbal component, she's just gonna say a prayer out loud. Say, okay, Pharasma, I really hope this is what you meant. I've sought the spire, I've ascended the zenith, and I'm pleading with you to bring back the hippogriffs that were taken from the Sable Company by Queen Queen Iliosa.
She might even stumble and say Queen Corvosa.
Probably, that's in character. Because it wasn't fair to them that they were taken away. And I don't really think it'd be that hard for you to bring them back, to be honest. That's just my assumption. And it would make everybody really happy because there's been a lot of pain and suffering. And I wasn't able to heal the king.
As you finish what you say, a strong gust comes by and it kind of like blows your vestments, and it blows away the spiral you drew. Evine,
Yes.
it has been a long night of contract drafting, and this is just not the way you really want to spend your nights, as thinking over terminology. You're a person of action. You're a person of taking the fight to the enemy, of cutting them down. This is what Dalibor and Dalivor, this is their strength. Your strength is out there making a difference, but it's a necessary evil of the life you live now. You sigh as you emerge from the Golden Key with a counter proposal in hand, ready to ship it off to Stonebeard. You hope that it's received well. I'd like you to roll a perception check.
$34.
34. Okay. Miles. You emerge from the tunnel. You've counted. You had the one incidence of the sounds coming from the ruins, but the rest of the night has been relatively uneventful and frankly somewhat disappointing. You need to bring somebody back with arcane know-how on how to deal with this, of what that means if it happens again. You open the door with the trap you bypassed, and you come out of the Endron Academy, and you're greeted by the soft rays of sunrise. Roll me a perception check. Okay. Dalibor,
Yes.
you appear. Castle Corvosa, just like you stated.
Yes.
It was Castle Corvosa, right?
Correct.
You appear. You're at the gate. It's been a long night of partying, and it's really been bittersweet for you. It was good to see Larissa and Crojan and people who are stubborn, but are friends, mostly.
Right.
And you worry about them. And that worry digs deep. You appear in another place. You're in Corvosa, and you care about this place too. And you just wish, much like your allies, the heroes of Corvosa, you just wish everybody could get along. The world doesn't work that way, and you're resigned to that fact. Roll me a perception check.
I do not have my helm on. Hey, 30.
Right. Arabella.
Yep.
You've had a breakthrough in your research overnight. Something of a breakthrough. It's something to go off of. There's a lot more work to be done, but you needed to come back to Corvosa. There's an agreement to meet, and you teleported to the castle. Was that it, or somewhere else?
I think she
Where
would have
did you say?
teleported to Naveen's school because
To Endron Academy. Okay. Your mind is focused, thinking on your work. Roll a perception check.
Majenko's with me, so I get a +2. Wow, that's good for Arabella.
everyone made the DC for this. So everyone sees it.
No.
Sephi doesn't need to roll because she has a pretty good vantage point. You all are in your own spaces, concerned with your own things. And in a moment of frustration or wonder or contemplation, all of you just kind of look up into the sky. In the weeks following the events of the 16th of Sereneth, rumors spread of a haunting melody heard around the blocks near the Great Tower. It spreads through the city. Heavy clouds draped in the sky, evoking a sense of mourning. Amidst this somber scene, the clouds begin to swirl, hinting at a looming cyclone that never touches the city. Instead, it forms a mesmerizing spiral in the heavens. Interpretations varied. Some say it was a divine message from Pharasma. Others as a narrowly avoided tornado. From the eye of the celestial storm, a beam of sunlight pierced through, casting a spotlight on the great tower as if chosen by the heavens for a moment of surreal significance. You all kind of stop, and that was strange. You just take a moment to look at it, and it causes, it's strange, and it causes you pause, even though everybody has urgent things to do. And then you hear Miles, Naveen, Arabella shouting, coming from the heights. Dalivor, a guard, runs past you into the castle. And within a few moments, you see King Endrin and a group of guards rush out. And he looks to you and he says, "With me, now." And he is running through the streets. The king himself is running through the streets. And people see this, and commotion and shouts and surprise and concern, and he is sprinting through the street and you are following, and all of you start following King Endrin, who is led by this frantic guard into the Great Tower. The planks are torn away. The entrance is bare, and all of you gathering together without a moment to really consider what's happening, rush up a stairwell leading to what was once an eyrie. And you find a wall that appears to be excavated, knocked down. Maybe it was tremors. Maybe it was bad masonry. Maybe it was a miracle. Inside, you see what looks like a secret room. This couldn't have existed in the original plan of the building. There's no door to it. There's no exit. There's no windows. All that is inside are hundreds, by your estimation, of eggs. and you see one cracks open. An equine snout emerging from within of a hippogriff. That's where we'll end tonight's game.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks everyone for being here. I appreciate everyone who hung out and watched the stream. Thank you, Andrew, for again another amazing game. Thank you to all of our players who are participating. We will be back with this game down the road. I think it's I don't have a date on me. Just stay tuned. It'll be about a month away, and more news to come on the ongoing saga of the Claimers Conquest. We're gonna raid on out, everyone. We're gonna raid on out to our friend DM Wolf, who's also doing D&D. I think they're doing D&D. They might be doing something else. They're playing something called Monster of the Week. They're doing tabletop role playing. So we're going to go over there and give them support. He's always coming over here and raiding. So I appreciate all of that. May the 9th. There we go. May the 9th. So thank you guys so much for being here. I want to remind you all that tomorrow I'm going to be doing a co-stream with Bentley 13. That's going to be at 6:30. She is going to be dipping her toes in the water of Skull and Bones with me on this co-stream. I'm going to be making a lower level ship to go and sail the seas with her. And we're going to shenanigans and hang out and, you know, just sit around and bullshit a little while.
You just want to sit around and talk for a while?
Just for a while. So
I'm
definitely,
cool with that.
definitely want to make sure to come and join us tomorrow for that. And you can hang out in Bentley's chat. You can hang out in mine. You can hang out in both of ours. Either way, we will see you tomorrow at about 6:30 p.m. Central Time for that. Of course, Monday, we have our Paranormal Off the Pod. That'll be on Monday at about 6 o'clock p.m. It is supposed to be Miso Thorny, and we'll see if that continues to be that way. If she's not able to make it, then it will be the blinded GM will be joining us for the Paranormal Off the Pod. So just stay tuned for that. It's going to be kind of a last minute up in the air sort of thing, just because of personal situations with people. So thank you guys so much for being here. Take care. Have a good night. Go along on the raid. Use my raid emotes. Use your raid emotes. Use Bentley's raid emotes. Use anybody's raid emotes. I don't care. Just make sure you say something in the chat. Make your voices heard over there with the one and only DM Wolf. Thank you guys so much for being here. Take care and good night.